Now, officials of the Roads and Highways Ministry have hinted of plans to begin the process of paying outstanding debts to contractors in the country from next week. It comes after members of the Ghana Chamber of Construction Industries stormed the ministry's premises earlier Wednesday. The angry and frustrated contractors besieged the ministry to demand payment for government projects they were asked to do since 2016, but they were eventually driven out by armed police personnel deployed there. Joy News' Matilda Vemega has the rest of the story.
We are fighting in uniform, but the money is finished. The money is finished.
Leaders of Ghana Chamber of Construction Industry having a tough time calming their angry members after an unsuccessful meeting with the Ministry of Roads and Highways. The meeting was meant to outline a plan for contractors who have not been paid after executing government projects since 2016. The over 100 contractors from across the country who besieged the ministry says they have had enough of the failed promises.
How can I be satisfied? When time without number, the minister himself will come out to mention a figure that has been allocated for payment of contractors, but which is always, who doesn't come on. So I can't satisfy it until we are paid. In 3 days, so until we are paid, we will never be satisfied.
Government projects including roads, drains, culverts and patching of potholes are just a few of the works they have had to personally fund from their pockets and loans from the banks. Nelson Tamaklo, a member of the Ghana Chamber of Construction Industry, was part of the over 100 contractors who stormed the ministry to demand payment for the drains he constructed around the Kaswa interchange.
The drains at the Kaswa overpass.
You worked on that?
Yeah.
And that has been since when?
Since 2016.
2016?
Yeah.
And no money has been paid?
At all.
Not even a dime?
No. I pre-financed my own project and nothing has been paid to me.
How has it affected you?
Madam, to be honest with you, now I just don't can't explain how we are living. It's just by the grace. By the grace. We have children in school. Our house rent are expired. Some of our members, because of shock, they are dying. And we don't know what to do to ourselves. Every day they will go and borrow money in the name of contractors, and we don't find the money. Before we realize, they pay they say, oh, they pay people. Who are they paid? We ask our friends, have they paid you? No. They said this, they said this. Up to now, every day different story. Every day, madam.
Who exactly have you been dealing with here at the Roads Ministry?
Normally, we deal with the road fund, highways, feeder roads. But for the past 2.5 years now, everything has been hijacked by the minister, the road minister.
It's been hijacked by him for what?
Nobody knows. That is his personal.
If you say it's been hijacked by the minister.
The payments I'm talking about.
Okay.
The payments are. Okay. Before they approve your final project, he has to give the consent.
Has that been the norm over the years?
No, it is not. Now you go to the various offices, the engineers are sitting there. When you ask, my brother, what's happening? Now we don't have anything. No. Nothing is happening. Everything is up here. So, madam, to be honest with you, since they have taken over government, we, the contractors, we don't have anything. We can't see anything. And every day, oh, we have borrowed money, this amount, we want to pay contractors. We will be waiting, okay, a week or two, nothing.
Other contractors say delays in government releasing the monies have had a toll on their members. They say some of their members had died due to the unbearable stress and hardship.
Don't want anything out of that, but all that we are demanding is that let us have our money so that we can be able to release. Now, when we go to our house, we know there's a lot of problems over there. Our children are suffering, our wives are suffering, even our workers, mason, carpenter, laborers, whatever, name them, what have you, they are all suffering because there is no payment over there. So that's why we are here. Our debtors are chasing it every day and day out. So how can we do? Do we want us to die? A lot of people are going on with a lot of problems, sickness and people are dying. So
your members are dying?
They are dying. Do you want to wait for them to die? A lot of, precious, a lot of going on over there. The other day he was in the radio. He was in the radio telling us that he had paid a lot of contractors. So we should go to our bankers and have our money.
And have you done that?
Yeah, I went to the bank. There's nothing over there.
And did you get back to him?
Yeah, that's why we are here, to tell him that we went to the bank and there's nothing there.
How long have you personally been chasing this money?
Since memorial. I've been with him personally. Since memorial. I've been with him personally.
Pay our children's school fees and at least put some things in order. Pay our workers. But now we can't pay the workers. Even I can't use my car. I have to park the car home, taking trotro. And sometimes you come to town before you get your lunch. It becomes a problem.
Surveyor Emmanuel Mate, chairman of the Ghana Chamber of Construction Industry, who was part of a meeting with Minister of Roads and Highways, had this to say.
We were going to discuss this extensively, but because of what has happened, the meeting couldn't come on. So it was just initial discussions, initial brief that we had with the minister. When we meet next week, which is going to be soon, all these issues will be discussed dispassionately. Next, when I finish, I will address you. So we are hopeful on the discussions we have had with them that they will go by their word and that there will be a roadmap for payment to be followed.
Chairman, did you get any response from the minister as to the allegations that there have been selective payments? Did you get any response to that?
Good question. We, in our letter to them, this issue was flagged. We are here to be given concrete response to that fact. So we are unable to confirm to the entire Ghana and the contractors that they should exercise restraint.
But members of the association, which include building and civil contractors, Ghana Institute of Engineers, Ghana Institute of Surveyors, Planners, Architects, among others, refuse to accept the explanations.
That is what we do.
We are not the mouthpiece of the government. Address our concerns. You are not addressing our concerns. Yes.
What do you say to that?
No,
Yes.
it's not the best.
Addressing their concerns. Oh, hello. Addressing their concerns is legitimate.
They promise to mount more pressure on government to get their monies. For Joy News, Matilda Pumagang, Accra.
Now, although the Roads and Highways Minister was unable to respond to the concerns raised by the contractors because he was unavailable, Head of Public Relations at the Ministry, Winifred Nafisa Mahama, revealed a meeting has been scheduled on the matter for next week.
The debt is building up, the roads are deteriorating.
Today, there was no concrete decision. All the issues that they have brought up will be put on paper, roadmap, everything will be set up, and then it will be made public. So no permanent decision has been taken today.
Exactly what did you arrive at the end of the day?
A rescheduling of the meeting, which will come on next week.
And what is that supposed to address? What they want is their monies.
Yes, a lot of issues, including their payment. So payment is one of the issues that will be addressed.
So you can't speak to all the concerns they are raising this afternoon?
I can't speak to that.
Why is that so?
Because they haven't been addressed. And
these issues are not new to the ministry. These issues have been there since 2016. Don't you have any answers for these contractors who are angry, frustrated about how government...
After the meeting next week, will be made known the process and the steps that we are using to address all those issues. But for now, there's no concrete decision.
So let's stay on this a while longer because Parliament's Roads and Transport Committee is expected to interrogate the Roads Minister on Friday over debts owed contractors that triggered a protest today. Our ranking member on the committee, Kwame Abuja, says officials from the road fund will also be in the meeting. He says government is to blame for the mounting debt in the road sector, which he says is one of the repercussions of capping of statutory funds.
The debt is building up. The roads are deteriorating and we don't have a solution. I think on the 20th of April or something like that this year, the road minister said he's got an approval to assess $1 billion to clear the arrears. So it's surprising that we're still here. But the situation of the contractors has become very precarious. Many of them owe banks and other things, and the banks are on their case. So government must necessarily find that 1 billion. It's not like the 1 billion will solve the problem, but it will be a starting point. So the contractors have been pushed to the wall. There's nothing they can do. The solution lies with the government. They must raise the necessary funding. But importantly, you will notice that out of the government's own capping policy, about 600 million Ghana cedi is almost 600 million Ghana cedi is taken out of the road fund, which generates about 1.3 billion Ghana cedi. So it's a self-inflicted situation. If that 600 million Ghana cedis is available to the road ministry, I'm sure it could have plugged some of the holes or carried out some maintenance on the road. So this situation is self-inflicted, and it's only government that can deal with it.
They claim that the finance minister is releasing portions of the money, but specific individuals are being paid to the detriment of the larger group, which is how come they found it necessary to be at the road ministry.
Well, the Committee on Road and Transport just summoned the road minister to bring the road, including the road fund, to Parliament on Friday. We are waiting for confirmation. For us to address this specific thing you talked about, that the payment is based on certain criteria which is not clear. So we want them to come and tell us the criteria by which they are paying, and we will make the public aware of what is going on. Maybe it's just speculation. Maybe it's true. We don't know yet.
And now, speaking of roads, District Chief Executive for Obuasi, Faustina Imisa, says poor leadership is to blame for the dilapidated roads in that township. A comment followed public outrage about the lack of commitment by officials to fix the roads and address other infrastructural challenges in the area. The roads in particular have developed deep gullies, and residents are contemplating a massive demonstration to protest the inaction by authorities. We'll hear from the DCE shortly, but first watch this photo story compiled by my colleague and Joy News photojournalist David Andor, who visited the town. District Chief Executive for Obuasi, Faustina Imisa, has been responding to the residents' concerns. She spoke earlier to Bernice Apobedu-Lansa.
We have taken a couple of roads to the ministry, and they are working on it. And I'm sure very soon certain parts of the roads will be settled. I would say, Obuasi, before we had AGC didn't do better so far as infrastructure project is concerned. But for now, since AGA has started, like we said, TAQUA, they've been doing it and they've been commissioning. Recently, they commissioned a completed road. Obuasi, it has never happened. It has never, we've never had it. And I am saying this is the first time that the company has committed to construct 10 kilometers. So I would say it's a start. Even though it's not the best, but since it is the start, I think it's not bad. But the reason why I would say, partly it's leadership. Partly, I would say it's leadership.
Leadership on whose part? Government, the companies, the chiefs?
Every major stakeholder. Government, chiefs, everybody, every stakeholder.
Are you able to give us timelines? You say that you have put up some requests to the ministry. Are you able to give us timelines? Have they confirmed to you when they can start work on this road so that the town gets that befitting status it deserves?
I cannot give the exact time, but I am sure very soon, very soon.
Let's head up north now, and inadequate beds at Bulenge Health Center in the Wa East District of the Upper West region forces doctors to treat patients on benches. The challenge has been attributed to the overwhelmingly large number of patients who go there for medical attention. Joy News' Upper West correspondent Rafiq Salam, who visited the facility, reports that sometimes patients are treated on the bare floor.
This health center is located at Bulenge in the Wa East District of the Upper West region. The community in terms of population plays second fiddle to Fancy, the district capital, and somehow often refers to as the shadow capital of the Wa East District due to its location. The community is surrounded by more than half of the 138 communities in the district, thereby bringing pressure to the few social amenities in the area. A case in point is this health center, who serves as the final referral center for dozens of communities who only have a CHIPS compound at their doorstep. Yet, the equipment at this health center is nothing to write home about. Apart from the limited space available, they have inadequate beds to take care of the slew of patients that comes to the facility to seek medical care. They are forced to treat patients on jaded benches whose stands are crooked. Others lie on the bare floor for treatment. Musa Moses is the principal physician assistant at the Bulenge Health Center.
We are currently in the malaria season, the rainy season. This is the period in which we see a chunk of our clients. Now, the people in this place are predominantly farmers. They are poor, they don't have money. And if you look at the facility is small, and because of that we are also, the registers that we have are also small. We have few beds. People come. If you refer them, they really don't have money to go to work. So they prefer to lie on the benches. Some of them even lie on the floor. Today, because of the rain, you can see that many people didn't even come to the more today. Other than that, sometimes you can see about 2-3 people on one bed.
Patients referred to seek medical care outside the district often refused and prefer to lie on the benches.
As a health center, we don't have a laboratory services. The lab that we depend on is a private lab. Our top disease in this area is malaria. And you know, malaria comes with complications. One of them is severe anemia. And as I talked to you this morning, I've already referred 4 children to go to our regional hospital for blood transfusion. We will be grateful if philanthropists, government, or any benevolent person that will wish to come and help us here with an infrastructure. Okay, a bigger ward, a laboratory, or any equipment that anybody can donate to the facility to help mitigate the problem that we are facing, so that the people of the community will appreciate.
Meanwhile, at the Wa East District Assembly Town Hall meeting held at Bulenge to shed light on the extent of implementation of the 2019 composite budget, which the Assembly members approved, the issue of the deplorable nature of the Bulenge Health Center came to the fore. Wa East District Chief Executive Mosu Jotie said he was aware of the deplorable nature of the health center, but was quick to add that plans are afoot to fixing it.
I visited the place myself. Even the very day I went there, I saw a patient lying on a bench, and then the health worker was there attending to the patient. That I wasn't very happy. I was confused. I saw the situation myself. So once we are trying to come to rehabilitate the whole system, whatever facility or whatever working instrument that in that system, anything that is not inclusive will also be changed. So to put it in a very good shape for all of us.
Reporting for Joy News, Rafiq Salam, Bulenge.
Now, scores of angry members of Mobile Phone and Accessories Dealers Association at Tiptoe Lane, a busy buying and selling enclave around the Circle area here in Accra, have closed down shops of foreigners in the retail business. They want the Ghana Investment Promotion Center to enforce sections of the Act that prohibits foreigners from engaging in retail business. Here's Joy News' Henry Kwesibedu's report read to you.
It was supposed to be a simple engagement with the media of the foreigners illegally engaging in retail trade, but tensions flared up.
We have a dying market to save. And last to say we have to take our destiny into our own hands. We will not sit down for anybody to dictate to us. Enough is enough. We are not retreating. No retreat, no surrender. And going forward,
no foreigner should open his or her shop after this statement. Those who open the shops do that at their own risk.
The statement sparked agitations amongst members of the association. Some forcefully closed down shops believed to be operated by foreigners. They called on state agencies to enforce trade laws. Daniel Glover is chairman of the Mobile Phone and Accessories Dealers Association.
If we are saying that our businesses are under threat, it is the request we are making that government must ensure that our businesses are not under that threat. So we are saying they must implement the law. It is the law that runs the state. That law must be implemented. That's what we are asking for government. And so the outfit, the unit of the executive establishment, that is the GIPC, that's the direct establishment we have called upon to activate its mandate and make sure that the retail business that is supposed to be exclusively for Ghanaians is left for Ghanaians. That's all.
Some Ghanaian traders last month closed shops belonging to Nigerians at Swami, in Kumasi and Opera Square here in Accra. But the traders say their concerns have not been addressed. The Ghana Union of Traders Association say they want to meet President Nana Akufo-Addo to address some burning issues. Ben Yeboah is National Welfare Officer of GUTA.
What we've done within this past is to ensure that we've spoken to the Council of States. We are requesting a meeting with the President because it's important that we clarify issues in this way and ask him why the laws are not being implemented. Because it baffles us that after so many years, each time any government comes in, after their promises, when they come in, they find it difficult to implement the act.
Some Ghanaian traders who spoke to Joy News say they are displeased with how government is handling their numerous concerns.
What we need is the government to wake up in our business. We vote for Nana Akufo-Addo because
we voted for Nana Akufo-Addo because he's a lawyer. We want him to intervene and get foreigners off our retail market space.
A joint team of police and military were deployed there to calm nerves. The Mobile Phone and Accessories Dealers Association say it won't relent until foreigners are kicked out of the retail market space. Henry Kwesibedu's report for Joy News.
Well, in a related development, government has assured Ghana's participation in the Continental Free Trade Agreement will not conflict with the country's local trading laws. This assurance comes at the back of the recent shutdown of Nigerian shops by their Ghanaian counterparts who argue the foreigners are violating the GIPC law on retail trade. The Nigerians, on the other hand, say the ECOWAS Treaty on Free Movement of Goods and Persons allows them to trade freely. While addressing a news conference in Accra Wednesday, Trade and Industry Minister Alan Tremantin said the Continental Free Trade Agreement will consolidate trading among member states.
There are very specific rules for engagement, as I've described under the CFTA. So the issue of foreign traders will not necessarily arise as long as you operate within the framework of the CFTA, the rules of origin. So, for example, if you go and bring goods from China, whether you're a Ghanaian or a Nigerian, you go and bring goods from China. Now, this will not qualify under the rules of origin when you are trading within the context of the CFTA. So it depends on what the foreigners will be selling. If they are selling, if you are foreigners here in Ghana and they are selling goods or they are exporting goods to Nigeria, then basically rather helping promote made in Ghana goods. If I found, yeah, and so it's not about the internal trade. This is about how we are able to trade across borders.
So what are the real benefits of this agreement, and what does Ghana stand to gain from hosting the headquarters of the Continental Free Trade Secretariat?
The hosting of the Secretariat will promote Ghana as an attractive investment destination and also actively promote foreign direct investment. It will attract major international banking institutions into our country, and it will become the preferred location for the siting of the corporate headquarters, of companies that are doing business in Africa. Now, with the opening up of Africa, if you're a major company doing business in Africa and you want to locate, because now you have seen the benefit of siting your headquarters in Africa, so you can take advantage. Where would you go to? Not where the headquarters is, where the action is. So we will definitely attract major corporate headquarters. It also provides opportunity to recruit Ghanaian professionals and administrative staff to work in the Secretariat. If you go to Ethiopia, you understand what I'm saying. The UN headquarters, you know how many Ethiopians have the opportunity also to work. So that is part of what you get also from being a host.
Trade Minister Alan Chimanting there. You're watching Joy News Prime with me, Araba Kumsin. We're taking a short break. Now, it's less than 24 hours to the grand finale of the 2019 National Science and Maths Quiz, and the contestants from the Presbyterian Boys Legon, St. Peter's Boys SHS and St. Augustine's College are leaving nothing to chance. Clearly, there will be an all-boys finale as the three schools battle it out for the ultimate bragging rights. Five-time winners Presec Legon and three-time winners St. Peter's, who are currently the defending champions, and one-time winner St. Augustine's College have all displayed a variety of skills and formidability in their journey to the final. But the reigning champions say they are poised to retain the trophy. Hannah Odame has more in this report.
Perhaps the Michael effect from St. Peter's has been the cornerstone for the boys. Michael went biblical in one of the competitions.
And Moses said unto the people, "Fear not, stand still, and see the salvation of the Lord, which he shall bring to you today. For the Egyptians we see today, we shall see them no more."
When asked his motivation for that prayer, this is what he said.
At that point in time, there was nothing really else I could see. Because some people might see it as offensive, some people might see it as being overconfident, but that is what I believe in, and that is what I have to say.
The three boys representing St. Peter's say the input of all students and their parents have been a motivation.
Our parents have been rocks, they've been strongholds, they've been the backbone of everything we do, our motivation, keep encouraging us.
The old boys have been a source of motivation, and they have always been coaching us, and they have been giving us some promises, and I think that's what is keeping us moving.
They've had a tough contest, they say, but were there any surprises?
Contests have been very tough. Like, we expected it because when we were coming, like, we made some analysis and we had to like show our strength in some of the peculiar rounds. So
here's what they have for us tomorrow.
I think it will be unfair and dishonest to say there's a bigger threat sitting among them. Once they've qualified to the finals, they are all equally a big threat. And tomorrow we'll find out. It's only God who has the final say.
I knew we'll be hearing from God very soon with Michael.
St. Augustine's College and Presbyterian boys get ready for a stiff competition from St. Peter's Senior High School.
So let's cross over to the University of Ghana, where my colleague Maxwell Akpakpa has been finding out all about how organizers are prepping for tomorrow's grand finale. Maxwell, I'm sure the contestants have been doing their last-minute preparations ahead of tomorrow. But of course, you can't deny that they may also be a little bit nervous because obviously the entire country will be watching them. What have you gathered?
Well, exactly. The preparation for the final started right after the last semi-final contest. I've been interacting with the trainers for the various, the three competing schools in the finals, and they tell me that it went back straight to the drawing board after the last, contest. We've been trying to actually get them to see if they would speak to us this evening, but they are locked up in some of the study rooms here with their books, reading, doing their final preps for tomorrow. But the old students of the competing schools are here with us, who are also looking forward to a contest that would go in their favor tomorrow. All of them we've been speaking to for three competing schools are optimistic of winning. Before I speak to them, though, earlier we were at the National Theatre where final preparations just finished. In fact, we arrived back on the University of Ghana campus where we've been lodging for the past 3 weeks. We arrived just about 30 minutes or 1 hour ago at the National Theatre. All is set. Earlier in the day, they had to transport the set that they were using previously at the University of Ghana Business School all the way to the National Theatre. They spent hours getting that set ready for tomorrow. The foyer of the National Theatre also is also ready to accommodate the huge numbers that would show up tomorrow. Earlier, when I spoke to Stephen Yankee, who is the programs coordinator for the National Science and Maths Schools, he told me that in anticipation of the thousands of Ghanaians who would throng the National Theatre tomorrow, they are creating additional viewing centers, just like they did at the University of Ghana Business School during the other parts of the competition, the semi-finals, the quarter-finals, and then the 1/8 round. So really, if you go to the National Theatre, the stage is set. All is ready. The contestants themselves have actually been there. They were at the National Theatre earlier just like the footballers would do to check out the pitch that they'll be playing on. They also went to the National Theatre just to have a feel of what it will be like, to compete on that big stage at the National Theatre tomorrow. I have with me here someone who represented St. Augustine's College 16 years ago. Yeah, Delali Poha is here with me. After that, I would interact with some of the supporters also that we have here. Delali, you're welcome to join us.
Thank you, Maxwell.
Tell me, 16 years ago when you represented St. Augustine's College, what was it like? Of course, then
it was pretty exciting, but I must admit that the format that has been adopted now is tougher. Okay. The questions are much more challenging, and there's also much more pressure on the teams because during our time you had 3 people representing a school, so you could be much more balanced. You did not need to master more than 2 subjects, but now you have 2 people and you need to be a jack of all trades. So you would see that is why schools are taking advantage of the substitution system, because as you know, somebody who is a jack of all trades finds difficulty in some subject areas in terms of depth. So the substitution is what has been helping some of the schools. Our time it was a bit easier. It was a bit easier.
Do you think the buzz now and the talk around National Science and Maths Quiz with availability of social media? I mean, 16 years ago, Facebook really you really did not get up-to-the-minute updates on what is happening. Now the contestants know that they'll be live on television, many eyeballs, watching them. real-time, information being sent across to the world. When you're losing, they know. Do you think it adds any pressure to the contestants on stage?
Yes, it does. It does add a remarkable amount of psychological pressure. Yeah. And you need to understand that the social media culture that we have also now, it's unforgiving. Okay. Yeah. If you do well, they praise you, but as much as they are praising you, they can also dump you in the next second. Yeah. Yeah. So for these boys, sometimes I really feel for them that we need to really look at their psychological well-being, especially for those who have fallen out. Okay. There were some teams that were really good, really, really good, but for some reason they could not progress because they met better schools, especially schools that met St. Augustine's College. For some of those schools, I look at the candidates and I say, look, this is a good team. These are good materials. It's just unfortunate that one person needs to move on. So I've heard that Primetime has psychologists on board, but the schools themselves should also take it seriously. I think beyond the science part, every school should involve the counseling center back there and get them to really psych the boys up, because this can really make or break your spirit.
Okay, thank you very much, Delali, for speaking to us. Thank you. Let's have the other supporters from the competing schools. You can Presec Legon, St. Augustine's College. Let me just state that we made attempts to get reps from St. Peter's. We contacted many people, but unfortunately, they said they have to be busy attending to their contestants, so they cannot be with us here. We have the gentleman from Presec. Let me hear from Presec first. What should we expect tomorrow, quickly?
The battle is the Lord.
Oh, that's all you say?
Yes, that's all we will say. It has happened before. 2006, they were defending champions. We went to final with them, and the Lord did its work. The Lord did His work.
St. Augustine's or St. Peter's?
St. Peter's. Okay. I mean, they were defending champions. So we would say they can be making noise. They can be making whatever ways that they have. They can't be making noise out there. We don't care. All we care about is the Lord will do its work. Okay. The Lord will do His work.
Exactly. You started a conversation on social media. Let's talk about 6. Are we talking about 6 tomorrow?
Of course, we are talking about 6 because the Lord is at work.
The Lord is at work. 30 seconds.
We should expect the best from us because we are going to deliver. Our boys are good, and we know that they are going to deliver.
Okay. Let me hear from you also. Okay.
Yes, we are just going to deliver.
We are going
to lead from round 1.
Okay. You're going to lead from round 1. Well, Augusto, you just heard from the Presecans. They're saying the battle is the Lord's. They will not talk much. You are saying action, Kotin. Are we seeing action tomorrow?
Oh, most definitely. We know that tomorrow, come with me, we are competing against very formidable schools. Every school that has gotten to this stage, by far, have proven that they are the best at what they do. But then, come tomorrow, we know that they will meet their match, and then we know that St. Augustine's College will come out victorious. We know the preparations we are putting into place. And we know that with the Lord on our side, we shall definitely make it.
Okay.
So it's coming home.
Okay. Who's having the last bite?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, a lot of schools are saying a lot of things, but we know that St. Augustine's College is the best, and our motto is Perseverance Conquers. So we know that we will conquer tomorrow. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Well, I just heard from the gentleman. Already, the debates has started very close to us, just some meters to us. The debate has already started. People talking about which school is at the school winning tomorrow. Of course, they cannot decide that here. That will be decided at the National Theatre.
With that update and expectations by some of the old students there, it promises to be interesting. You can't miss it. It will be live on this station, Joy News Channel, from 9 o'clock, I believe, or 10 o'clock in the morning, from 10 a.m. in the morning. So do stay tuned to that. Let's do some other stories. And the activities of some sand winners at Isuchare is destroying the source of drinking water for more than 20,000 residents in the area. A company in the area managed by Ghanaians and Chinese has been digging sand out of the River Volta at the site where the Osudoku water plant that treats water for inhabitants is located, polluting the entire water body. Joseph Opokugapo of our Environment and Technology Desk has more.
Z&J 198 Ghana Limited has been operating here for about 5 years now. As a result of the activities, The riverbank is bare with large portions of the sand scooped off. Now they fetch the sand from beneath the river. Heavy machinery digs the sand underneath, which is then transported to the riverbank for onward movement to Accra and other areas for construction projects. Francis Jagla loads sand from here to sell in Accra.
This one, they take go East Legon. Okay. We are coming to people for here.
Okay. So this one, for example, like how much you go sell them?
It's 1,500.
And a day you are able to do like how much? How many?
3 trips a day.
Okay. Then it's bringing good money, isn't it?
Yeah.
Chemicals used in the sand winning also pollute the water.
The police, I don't know, they use chemicals to mine the sand from the riverbed. And I don't know, from visual inspection, you could see, I don't get the water, you could see the color has changed, you could see suspended particles on the water. At times, you could see oil spillage on the surface of the water. And at times, when you get to that place, you see that there are aquatic animals in the water. At times, you get the fishes and the crocodiles and other animals in the water. But when you get there, you could see that some of them are even suspended dead on the water. You may not know the cause, but I'm sure it might be of their activities that is causing it.
Residents here complain it rendered this portion of the Volta River unusable. At first, they could bathe using the water from the river, but that causes them body rashes now.
First time the water inside they make clear, but time where they come, the water inside make dirty. So they see if you talk your body or rashes will come.
But more disturbing is the location of the community water and sanitation plant here. Managers complain they are struggling to treat the water for supply to the 4 communities in the enclave. The technician here, Isaac Nyako, says they are spending more money on chemicals now.
They pollute the water in such a way that when we come to this place, cost of production increases. And you can see it makes the nutrients grow very well in the water. And then when we come, as we see behind, we can see all the green algae in the water. When they stir the water, we see the sand deposit find itself clogged in our machines. So they which close or block the machine. At the end of the day, it wears the machines off very rapidly, then which causes the higher production cost on the machine.
He says the situation is risking the lives of water consumers.
If they get closer to that place and they mine the sand, tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, because the intake, the building will shake up and they stand the foundation. When it settles, it will collapse. And it collapse, water will not get to the community.
Fisher folks here lament their fishing businesses have now ground to a halt as a result of the operations of the sand winning company.
First time we Highland Day where the water day the side, you see, you go small time, you get fishing. But by this time you go far away before you go get some. First time we do and we see sometimes if you put the finger list where they not grow too much. I see if they did work like this with the water dirty one in Misa and the clear one, the fish they know they see things again.
Then they will die.
Yeah, they will die.
The women here are unhappy about the situation.
The water, they are spoiling our water for us. We get sickness, diarrhea. We want our bank to help us to come and stop them.
Officials of the company here have declined comment on the issue, referring us to their headquarters. For Joy News, Joseph Opokugapo reporting.
Now, hundreds of Ghanaians who poured out onto the streets of Accra to stage a protest yesterday could be seen wearing red hats. Now, they say it's a symbol of the revolution they are participating in for the push for better living standards for Ghanaians. Well, the red hats, however, have a long history associated with activism and center-left movements. Joy News' Joseph Akable explores this in the following report.
The beret is a soft, round, flat crown hat, usually woven or hand-knitted. It is a common gear for Ghana's security agencies, including the police and military. It, however, has a long history dating back to the 19th century when it was popular as a sportswear or a fashion statement. It is also a revolutionary symbol adopted by many activist groups, including the Black Panther Party of the United States. South Africa's far-left party, Economic Freedom Fighters, also wear the hat. The most famous photographs of Argentine activist Ernesto Guevara, who is an icon for many center-left movements, has him sporting a black beret with a brass star. The hat is, however, gradually creeping into Ghana's political space. The Economic Fighters League and sympathizers of the opposition NDC are the latest to join the trend.
And on a lighter note, I cannot help but ask, the hat, I've seen a number of persons belonging to your party in this particular hat. What is it about?
You need to ask Sammy Jemfi.
Sammy Jemfi was meanwhile busily addressing the massive crowd with his red hat firmly fitted on his head. Some of the individuals who wore the hats have been explaining the statement they are putting across.
Oh, this hat is for the demonstration, just for the demonstration. The revolution has begun.
My brother, you see, at your forest, that is dear to my heart. My brother, so that's why you got the hat. In fact, that's why I have this.
It's part of the costume.
So you were asked to wear it?
Yeah. And it shows how serious we are, how we mean this demonstration, how important this demonstration it is to us, because we have to fall under one umbrella so that we can be identified as such.
As Ghana's Social Democratic Party continues in its quest to recapture power, voters can expect to see many of its messengers sporting the red hat. Joseph Akable, Joy News, Accra.
Interesting report there.